And go danyo. Oh, what the dang. This is the black pot. AKA Kukushu, where we speak truth to power. Here we don't criticize, but if we must criticize, we'd only do so on one condition: to build and not to destroy. That is why we say we are in the service of God and country. This is the voice of the people, and the voice of the people is the voice of God. This is the black pot, aka Kukushudomo, where we speak truth to power. And I want to say thank you so much for coming along. I do appreciate you and I do love you. This is the voice of the people. And we have a number of issues from the newsreel. And we endeavor to keep this real. This is the black pot. Now, the very first story we are looking at today is taken from Graphic Online. The official communicator of the nation. That's the national communicator. And the headline reads, when Bawumia and Mahama debated at Ghana CEO Summit in Accra. I read, former President John Dramani Mahama addressed the 8th Ghana CEO Summit in Accra on Monday and said unemployment has jumped to 14.7% from 8.5% in 2017, the highest level recorded in the history of the Fourth Republic, he said. He said inflation on his part was above 25% and the current interest rates range between 30 and 50%. Now, the former president said the exchange rate, which was previously at 4 Ghana cedis to the US dollar, has crossed the 15 Ghana cedi threshold, and there appears to be no end in sight to the deterioration of the cedi. Despite this, the government remains unconcerned, unwilling to cut expenditure, and continues to spend more on creature comforts instead of investing in the transformational infrastructure that will propel this nation forward. Now, Vice President Bawumia also spoke. Now, the F Ghana CEO Summit, Vice President Dr. Amidu Bawumia joined the debate remotely via the internet and countered former President Mahama's position as the two engaged in a spirited exchange of ideas and policies. Now, my brother, my sister, let's go straight for the jugular vein. I don't know why any serious human being would debate Bawumia. I do not know why any serious person who loves and respects the heritage of this nation would stoop so low to debating Bawumia. My brother, my sister, this is a guy who failed from when he started. Why should I waste my time to debate a guy who has failed so abysmally? A guy whose face annoys me anytime I see him. A guy who is synonymous with lies and failure. If you demean yourself to run in a race with weaklings, when weaklings are counted, you'll be counted amongst. Why should any man wet his salt debate Bawumia? Bawumia is a chatterbox. Bawumia only knows how to talk and talk and talk. Where it matters most, the action, he falls flat like an impotent penis. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. My brother, when I saw the headline, I thought it was a conjecture. And I wanted to believe that, no, this probably was somebody's conjecture. Only for me to go in there and realize that, well, he was not physically present, but remotely, he joined via the internet. What are you going to debate Bawumia on when everything is clear that the guy is a hopeless failure? Who, worth his salt, will waste his time to debate Bawumia? Now the economy is so much in shambles, you do not need to sit with Bawumia to know that no, these guys have failed. My brother, my sister, it hurts me that Mahama stooped so low to debate Bawumia. It's the same thing I would say about any other person who is contesting these elections. If you do decide to stoop so low to debate with a chatterbox, my brother, people might not know the difference. I am hurt and sad. Look how many Ghanaians are dying in our hospitals. My brother, my sister, kidney patients are no more able to pay, my brother, my sister, for their dialysis. Pregnant women are giving birth to their babies, stillbirths, on the bare cold floors of the hospitals. Nurses have run out of this nation. Now they are in England and they are plying their trade there so happily. They have disbanded the Ghanaian bandwagon. My brother, your biggest mall right here in Accra has a China mall staring at it from the opposite side. Which serious country does this? Very soon, the Chinanization of this country is going to get very serious. We all will be Chinanized. Every little centimeter you go to, my brother, my sister, you're going to be seeing Chinese investments. I don't have a problem with foreign investments. My problem is when it is given priority. Local Ghanaian businesses have been collapsed left, right, and center. My brother, my sister, it looks like China is becoming the next Ghana in Ghana. Galamsey sites are controlled by Chinese. The malls are controlled by Chinese. If China decides one day to pack up and leave Ghana, there will be so much unemployment, it won't be funny. My brother, my sister, again, let me make it clear before people misunderstand me and misquote me. I am not against foreign investment on our land. I am against prioritizing foreign investment in our country. That is unequivocal. I leave it here. Next story I would like to look at is coming from Ghana Web, and it says Amidu denies authorship of a petition to remove Kissie Jabin, and it's a question mark. I read, former special prosecutor Amidu has denied allegations against him, accusing the National Democratic Congress, the NDC, and Accra-based Joy FM of orchestrating a trial against his person in the court of public opinion. In an epistle published on May 26, 2024, Amidu made comments that suggested that he was refuting reports of having submitted a petition for the removal of the special prosecutor, Kissie Jabin. He referenced recent comments by the NDC chairman, Johnson Asiedun Katia, as support of the opposition for the SP's smear campaign against him via Joy FM. Now, the Martin Amidu I know, until this thing was done, I trusted that he was a very principled person. My faith in his being principled is totally shaken. Amidu quoted Asiedun Nkatia as saying, I leave it here. Watch me. I do not know why people still give an ear to Martin Amidu. He has proven beyond doubt that he's a chatterbox like Bawumia. They love to make noise. Martin Amidu is a letter writer. In the days, he would be in charge of the post office, writing long epistles. In fact, if Martin Amidu had existed in the days of the Bible, he would have been one of the writers of the Bible. Martin Amidu is a letter writer. He loves to write. My brother, my sister, you were given the opportunity to become the special prosecutor. You failed flat. A younger colleague has been put in there. He's doing what he can. Yes, there are lapses left, right, and center. But your constant critique of this guy, in fact, makes us think that you have a certain kind of ulterior motive. Are you ashamed that a younger colleague at least have been able to achieve something? Something that you couldn't achieve at all whilst in office. Martin Amidu seems to be on a certain campaign that is difficult to understand. You were made a special prosecutor. All of a sudden you came out of your hiding place and said that the president was nothing but the mother serpent of corruption. It looks like Martin Amidu is all of a sudden becoming the father serpent of noise making. It's sad. But whatever it is, if Martin Amidu did not write any letter, come out and be bold enough to say it. Come out and be bold. Come out and say you did not write anything. After all, you are a letter writer. Write it out. We'll take time and read that. Oh, what a shame. A country of talkatives. Nobody is ready to bring action to the forefront. It's sad. I'll leave it here. Now the next thing I want to look at is taken from my own treenews.com, and it says Bank of Ghana directs Societe Generale to submit full list of persons interested in acquiring their shares. And I read it. The governor of the Bank of Ghana, BOG Dr. Ernest Addison, has directed the management of Societe Generale Ghana to submit the full list of all persons interested in acquiring shares in the bank. Dr. Addison said that the central bank does not want surprises in relation to the list of persons interested in acquiring shares in the bank. Now, asked whether the BOG has received information on the next line of action from the bank, Dr. Addison said that during the 118th Monetary Policy Committee MPC press conference in Accra on Monday, May 27, that this is an area where we have not formally received any information from the bank, both from their group or from the office in Accra. I have had discussions with their office in Cote d'Ivoire, and I've complained that we don't want to be surprised. We are hearing things in the air, and we want to see the long list of those that are interested in acquiring their shares. We do not even want to see the short list. So I have expressed those concerns to their representatives in their Cote d'Ivoire office, and hopefully we would hear something from the group very soon. Now, when your country is so dependent on foreigners for survival, this is what happens. You would have a Mickey Mouse independence. You would have an independence of a national flag and a national anthem. That's all. The rest of it, you are controlled like a puppet. After all, remember when Sankara said, he who feeds you controls you? I'm so ashamed that I belong to a country of dunderhead leaders. Should I say it again? I am so ashamed that I belong to a country of dunderheaded leaders. Leaders with no patriotism. Leaders with no iota of respect for the heritage of our nation. These are not Ghanaians. They are demons sent from the pit of hell to demonize our nation. In the days of the revolution, the so-called revolution, Rawlings would have tied them to a stake and ordered a flurry of bullets to be pointed at them. Thank God we don't live in those days anymore. My brother, my sister, from toothpick all the way down to matches and toilet paper, we import everything from the white man's kitchen. From sanitary parts all the way down, my brother, my sister, to oil, as in cooking oil, we import everything into this country. Tell me why we don't import in this country. We claim we have cocoa, but my brother, my sister, we import chocolate in our country. Go to the shops and see how much chocolates we have that are coming from outside this nation. We claim that we have gold. Go out there and see gold ornaments that are in this nation. We make the raw gold. They pick up the raw gold, turn it into products, and sell back to us at prices that are equivalent to an arm and a leg. My brother, I look at some of these things and I feel so sad. What is happening to our nation? Now you have foreigners taking over your economy. You sit back and sheepishly say, we do not want to be surprised. If you are leaving us, please let us know. Yes, please, if you want to go, let us know. Don't get up one day and pack and go. Hey, my brother, in business, there is nothing like morality. In business, is give and take. When you are doing business, there's nothing like charity. When you are doing business, there's nothing like courtesy. The courtesy in business is demand and supply. Now they are holding us hostage in our own country, my brother, my sister. Everywhere you go in this country, it is foreigners who control. The other day, Canada, Japan, an MP, a sitting MP, told us that he was on the Spintex Road. And every big company there was owned by Syrians. My brother, go to the Oxford Street. You will see same. Go to all our major streets. It looks like there's a recolonization agenda perpetrated by our dirty leaders to further sink this country into oblivion. It hurts. But until you become producers and not consumers, we will continue to be fed from out of every dirty kitchen. After all, we only receive and do not give. Now the last thing I would like to look at is coming from My Joy Online, and it says, don't leave our country. Mahama begs multinational companies. And I read, the flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress, the NDC, John Dramani Mahama, has made a plea to multinational companies, urging them not to withdraw from the Ghanaian market. Now, the appeal comes in light of a trend where several multinational corporations have opted to relocate their operations away from Ghana due to economic challenges. Now, the economic landscape in Ghana from 2022 to the present has compelled numerous multinational companies to consider relocating part of all their business operations to other countries. The most recent departure is that of Glovo, a prominent food delivery giant in Africa. The Spanish firm announced its decision to exit the Ghanaian market on May 10, 2024, citing profitability challenges and a reassessment of investment priorities. Addressing attendees at the 8th Ghana CEO Summit held in Accra on Monday, May 27, Mr. Mahama expressed concern over the potential adverse effects of multinational companies leaving Ghana. A country that refuses to be truly independent and remains seriously dependent to the West will end up begging in what is supposed to be called business. As I said, in business, there's nothing like morality. There's nothing like begging. It's like an American policeman arrests you for an offense, and you start by saying, oh, I beg you, sir. Hey! That is when you go into the deepest part of the gallows. Yes, in Ghana it's accepted because we have our socialization based on a foundation of corruption. Jesus have mercy. That is why when Ghanaians leave this nation, they travel to other countries and they prosper. They work so hard. They don't even work a quarter the way they work in Ghana. My brother, my sister, in Ghana, the average Ghanaian gives only about 2%. But when he leaves the nation, he gives 500% of himself. 5 times his maximum capacity. Why? Ask yourself this question. So when our leaders start begging the West to stay with us, it tells you that the country has disintegrated. Oh my God. Mahama is begging multinational companies not to exit. You know what that means? They are going to have the upper hand now. And they'll say, okay, if you insist that we stay, we want to repatriate all our profits. We now call the shots. This is the bargain. If you agree, we will stay. Because you are so desperate, you would be at the receiving end. How many people agree with me? It is so sad, my brother. And I am hurt all the way down to the marrow. A nation that claims to be independent. What is Glovo? Delivery, food delivery. So what, my food? Can we not have Ghanaians who can do this? At least for Ghana. But because of inferiority complex, a socialization that is based on corruption, my brother, my sister, we are the receiving end every time. What is Glovo? Glovo is going to threaten us? Huh? Do you know what we went through to get our independence? Tooth and nail, we went through the blood and the breaking of bones and the splitting of bone marrows and brains in order to grab our independence. Today, Glovo, a weakling like Glovo, is a giant. I'm not saying this to demean Glovo, but I'm looking at the capacity of our nation as compared to Glovo. Glovo said it's leaving, and all of a sudden the nation has started to catch cold because Glovo is sneezing. We are suffering from popo bili bili. Hey! Was this what we bargained for? Jesus have mercy. Mahama is begging. He says, I beg you, like in the days of Rawlings. Do we all remember when Rawlings was begging foreign companies to stay? Remember when Rawlings was telling us to stop eating cowhide? I think they call it wele. He begged Ghanaians to stop eating wele because the shoe factories that were actually collapsing at the time would have all the foreigners leave. Those who had shoe factories, whatever it was, they were going to leave. Those working with leather, they were all collapsing because we're eating so much wele. Rawlings failed to deal with the main cause. He was dealing with the symptoms. What will make a proper human being eat wele? Eh? Akrachifua or unkoto. Eat proper meat. We nampa. If a man will get up and go and eat wele, my brother, it's not intentional. It's basically because he can't afford. When dogs go eating bones, it's not because they prefer bones to meat. It's because that is all they can afford. Mr. Mahama, I know the satire you are slapping on this government, but I think we have to be careful. When we speak to some of these foreign companies, we make them feel like they are tin gods. If they want to go, let them go. If you want to go, go. Get out of here. If you want to go, go. It will expose the foolishness of our leaders, the inadequacies of our leaders. How can you be called the Gold Coast and you are scared that a certain Glovo would leave? Otikoko also, he's sitting down there. He's sitting on gold. The whole world, he's the only king who is touted to be sitting on gold. Yet, Glovo is sneezing and you are catching cold. Glovo that has no gold. Hey! What did they happen? I leave it here.